Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Future. Wheelz logo pulsing against the sound of a deep V8 rumble. The screen cuts to me standing next to a car that needs no introduction, but absolutely deserves one. This is the 2026 Shelby GT350, the rebirth of one of the most iconic muscle cars ever produced. A machine that doesn't just lean on its legendary name but carries it forward into the future with sharper engineering, smarter technology, and an even more visceral driving experience. Today, I'm going to take you through every single detail of this car. We'll look at the design, the exterior from every angle, the interior that blends classic hues with modern touches, the performance numbers that will make your palms sweat, and finally, what it will cost you if you want to park this beast in your driveway. So buckle up, because this is going to be a deep dive. The front end is where the story starts, and what a story it tells. The grille has been completely reworked, with a wider, more purposeful opening that channels massive amounts of air into the engine bay. It's still got that signature Shelby Cobra badge proudly sitting at the center, surrounded by a honeycomb mesh design that looks as functional as it does beautiful. The headlights are slimmer than ever before, laser-thin LED units that give the car a predatory squint. Daytime running lights carve sharp strokes of light along the edges, and when you fire them up, they look like glowing eyes in the night. The hood is a masterpiece of form and function, with a massive heat extractor vent right in the center, sculpted lines flowing towards the windshield, and subtle carbon fiber elements that remind you this car is just as much about weight reduction as it is about brute power. The lower fascia houses additional cooling ducts and a new carbon fiber splitter that not only adds to the aggressive look but also helps pin the nose down at high speeds. Standing this close, you can almost hear the engineers whispering that every curve, every vent, and every detail has been tuned for a reason. Moving to the side, the GT350 really comes alive in terms of proportions. Long hood, short deck, wide fender. It's the classic Mustang shape, but Shelby has taken a sculptor's chisel to it. The flared wheel arches look almost exaggerated, but they're functional too, accommodating the massive 20-inch lightweight forged aluminum wheels wrapped in sticky Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. Behind those wheels, you'll see massive Brembo brakes with 6-piston calipers up front, painted in a Shelby exclusive shade of red that peeks through the spokes like jewels. The side profile is accentuated by a subtle character line that runs from the front fender vent all the way to the rear quarter panel, giving the car a sense of motion even when it's standing still. The side skirts are carbon fiber, tying in with the front splitter and rear diffuser, while the mirrors are mounted on slim, aerodynamic stalks that reduce drag and add to the racing car vibe. And if you listen carefully as the wind sweeps over the body, you know this car has been honed in the wind tunnel, but not at the expense of its raw aesthetic appeal. At the back, the Shelby delivers the knockout punch. Wide, muscular haunches dominate the view, tapering down to a rear end that screams performance. The taillights retain the iconic Mustang 3-bar design, but they've been given a more angular, high-tech treatment, each bar illuminated with OLED strips that pulse as you approach or unlock the car. The deckless spoiler is a large, functional piece finished in carbon fiber, providing genuine downforce at track speeds. The lower portion houses a massive rear diffuser, again made from carbon fiber, and of course, the Pi-A-Dire Assist R8 copyright assistance, the quad exhaust tips. These aren't just exhaust pipes, they're polished artillery barrels that fire out one of the most intoxicating sounds you'll ever hear. The exhaust note of the GT350 is legendary, and for 2026, Shelby has managed to keep that higher revving scream alive while tuning it for even sharper pops, crackles, and drawers. When you fire it up, neighbors will know. When you redline it, the world will listen. Step inside, and you realize this isn't just a brute with a badge, it's a cockpit designed for serious driving. The interior of the 2026 GT350 blends heritage with cutting-edge technology in a way that feels authentic rather than forced. Sliding into the Recaro Sport seats, you immediately notice the bolstering. They hug you tight, keeping you locked in during aggressive cornering, but they're also padded enough for long highway drives. The seats are trimmed in a mix of Alcantara and leather, with contrast stitching and embroidered Shelby logos, giving them a bespoke, premium feel. The steering wheel is flat-bottomed, wrapped in Alcantara for maximum grip, with a bright red centering stripe at the 12 o'clock position, a nod to its racing DNA. Behind it sits a fully digital instrument cluster, a high-resolution display that can be customized to show everything from classic dual-round gauges to track-specific data like G-forces, lap times, and tire temperatures. The center console houses the latest sync infotainment system, with a crystal-clear touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and even track apps that let you log and analyze performance data in real time. But what I love most is that despite all of this tech, Shelby hasn't gone soft. The physical toggle switches for drive modes, exhaust settings, and traction control are still there, giving you that satisfying click every time you engage them. And yes, the shifter, whether you go for the 6-speed manual or the lightning-fast dual-clutch Automatica, is placed perfectly, right where your hand expects it to be, reminding you this is a driver's car first and foremost. Now, let's talk performance, because this is where the GT350 really earns its stripes. Under the hood lies a naturally aspirated 5.4-liter flat-plane crank V8, an evolution of the legendary Voodoo engine that made the previous GT350 famous. For 2026, output has been increased to a staggering 580 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. It revs to a near-splitting 8,600 revolutions per minute, delivering power in a way that feels linear, urgent, and absolutely addictive. 0 to 60 comes in just 3.7 seconds with the dual clutch, while the manual clocks in around 4.1. But numbers don't tell the whole story. The way this engine responds, the way it screams all the way to redline, it's an experience that borders on the spiritual. Shelby has tuned the suspension with adaptive MagneRide dampers, giving you the flexibility to cruise comfortably on the streets and then stiffen everything up for track days at the flick of a switch. The steering is razor sharp, communicative, and perfectly weighted, letting you place the car exactly where you want it. On a winding road, the GT350 feels alive, eager, and almost telepathic, encouraging you to push harder while still giving you confidence. And the brakes? They're monstrous. Those Brembos will haul you down from triple-digit speeds with no fade, lap after lap. Of course, performance like this doesn't come cheap, and that brings us to price. The 2026 Shelby GT350 starts at around $79,000, which places it in a sweet spot. It's not cheap, but considering the level of engineering, performance, and exclusivity, it's a bargain compared to European rivals that can cost nearly double. Add in some options like the carbon fiber track package, upgraded interior trims, and bespoke paint colors, and you can easily push the price north of $95,000, maybe even breaking into six figures. But ask yourself, what else can deliver this kind of soundtrack, this level of performance, and this much heritage for the price? Not much. And with limited production numbers, the GT350 will likely hold its value well, if not appreciate in the long run. So, what's the verdict? The 2026 Shelby GT350 is not just another Mustang variant, it's a celebration of everything that makes American performance cars special. It's raw but refined, loud but precise, modern but rooted in tradition. It's the kind of car that makes you look back every time you park it, the kind of car that makes your heart race before you even start the engine. It's not just transportation, it's an event. And in a world where more and more cars are going electric, the Shelby GT350 stands as a glorious reminder of what a high-revving V8, a manual gearbox, and uncompromising design can still deliver. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the 2026 Shelby GT350, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Car Future Wheels for more detailed reviews of the hottest cars on the horizon, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Would you daily drive this? Would you track it? Or would you just keep it in the garage as a collector's item? I'd love to hear what you think. Until next time, keep your wheels pointed forward and your revs high.